Hello and welcome to Thursday Facebook class with Christy Hillock of CJ Card Creations. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator located in Salt Lake City, Utah, and I'm so glad that you're here with me, whether you're watching me live or if you are joining me on the replay or over on YouTube. I'm so grateful for you. So I have just some announcements while everybody's getting on and finding me. First and foremost, if you would like to receive weekly project sheets for the Facebook projects, then make sure that you click the link that I'll put all the links up after the video, but make sure you click the link so that you can sign up for my email list. That always has the project sheets, all of the current news, any of my classes that are going on. So make sure to do that. If you would like to receive kits for the Facebook class cards, and I'll show them to you here in just a minute. Hey, Janie. Then place an order in my online store of $35 or more using the host code that I'll share. And then I will send you 3 card kits at the end of the month. And I am doing a series of Christmas card classes. So I missed you too, Janie. I hope that everything's okay, and I'm glad that you're here tonight. So for those card classes, the first one is this Saturday and it is closed. The next one is October 8th, which is another Saturday, and they're always from 2 to 5. So the October and November classes are going to be Stamp-A-Stack classes. So you'll make, let's see, I think I said 4 designs, 3 of each card. So, and then you also, hey mom, will get a bundle of product. So those are going to be a lot of fun. And then my December class is going to be focused more on gifting. So tags and bags and boxes and that kind of thing. So that should be fun. I'm also continuing to do my monthly Monday night class. And so that next one is this coming Monday, the 19th. If you haven't already registered, there will be a link in the description. And registration for that closes Sunday. And then so many things, because it's just like peak crafting season. But I have a Hello Harvest class to go. Registration for that will close next Tuesday, and it is not an actual class. You get a kit with product and pre-cut cardstock and a PDF. And that has, this month it has 6 projects and then also a pouch with a tag to hold everything. And it is designed for you to make them up and then give the whole package as a gift to someone. So there is that. Stampin' Up! Has all sorts of stuff going on this month and I can't even keep it all straight. But today they are doing 15% off all the annual catalog stamp sets. So that is through, I think, midnight tonight. And today is, September 15th. So you have until midnight Mountain Time to order and save 15% there. And then it's also weekly deals and you can combine the 2 specials. So that's awesome. I can't remember everything that's on the new round. There's a set of craft gift boxes and masking paper and all sorts of embellishments and ribbon and that kind of thing. So I'll have a shopping link and I think, oh, they're Perfect Partners promotion. So that is, there are 6 stamp sets that in the catalog don't have die sets, but they created die sets that are only available this month. So those are very clearly marked on the Stampin' Up! Website. So if you want any of those, they're not going to be around much longer. So make sure you go grab them. And that would also help get you to that $35 order for your Facebook kits. So that is all I think that I needed to tell you while I've got the camera pointed at me. So I'm just going to flip that around and then I'll show you a few things. So the first thing that I want to show you is just the Hello Harvest kit. So I cased this pouch from Julie DiMatteo over at the Paper Pixie. And then it will have ribbon and this tag. And then when you open it up, it's got all of these beautiful cards. And there's some coloring and coordinating envelopes. And it was a lot of fun to make. So hopefully, if you haven't already registered, you'll hop over and register for these. I usually spend about a week getting everything ready for you once registration closes. We do have all sorts of things going on, so I may be running a little behind this month on those. And then as far as the Facebook kits, they will include supplies to make this one where we use the background stamp, and this one where we made our own designer series paper with stamps from the Penguin Place stamp set. And then let me show you what we're doing tonight. So I wanted to pull out my blender brushes. So that is what we'll do. So I've got 3 different versions of this card. And you can see here that I used lots of different colors to create that background. And then this is the Aspen dies that were free during celebration. And then this one is the, I think it's Dots and Spots dies. And it's a little bit harder to tell, but I did kind of an ombre effect with the greens. And that one I struggled to put together, and I really love it. I think it turned out nicely. And then this one uses the Waves dies and all the blues. Not all the blues, but a bunch of the blues. So my husband looked at this and said, hey, I need that, but I need it to say thank you. So we're going to make this one. And I think that's all I was going to show you. So first thing, it's just a starry sky card base. So that's already cut and ready for us. And then if I can find all the things. And I do know what colors I used to make the other 2 backgrounds if you decide that it's something that you really want to be able to do. So Stampin' Up! Splendor brushes are these little ones. I have them labeled just by color family, and then I don't really clean them ever. You certainly can wash them just with soap and water. For tonight, I'm going to use this bigger one just because it's what I have for blues. But I like the smaller ones from Stampin' Up! Better. So, let's see. We'll start with our color blending so that we can kind of let that dry a little bit once we're done while we're doing the rest of the card. And I've got some fun little tips to show you as we go. So the first thing is that I always start by trying to remove as much ink as I can. And especially in this case where I'm going to start with a lighter color than I finish with, I just want to make sure that I don't have lots of dark ink going into my light ink pad. So there is that. And we're going to start with Tahitian Tide ink. So I like to just swirl it lightly on the ink pad, and then I get rid of the first bit of ink that's on the brush bristles. And that just keeps it from having kind of a blotchy look. And then I start off of the panel and just go across back and forth and up and down. And I want to cover about a third, maybe a little bit more with this color. So feeling pretty good about that one. You all had so much to say right at first, and now it's so quiet. I hope everybody's doing all right. Jonah started flag football today, so we just find all the things to do with that poor kid. He never stops moving, because when he does, he just pesters. So it's a lot more fun to keep him busy. So now I'm just doing the same process with my Orchid Oasis, and I actually did use 3 of the current ink colors. So, all right, so get rid of a little bit of ink there, and then I'm going to overlap a little bit and then come down to about the 2/3 mark. Janie, you had one, what? I said something, I guess, but I don't know what it was. Oh, cataract surgery. Oh, you poor thing. Sorry, I didn't know. Are you feeling okay aside from struggling to see? Okay, I got all the Orchid Oasis on there that I think I need, and you can see that I blended just a little bit. And now I'll bring in my Starry Sky and clean that up just a little bit more. I have wanted to do LASIK surgery, and I am just always a little too scared to let them work on my eyes. But cataracts are obviously different because you really have to get that done. So I hope you get feeling better quickly. So when you're doing this technique, it's very easy to stick your fingers in the ink and make a mess. So I just always bring in a clean sheet of printer paper or whatever. And now I can hold my panel while I finish inking. And see, I don't know what just happened there, but we're going to cover that part up, so it'll be all right. Anxious to get the next one done on Tuesday. Oh my gosh, you're doing them so close together. But then you'll be done, and that will be nice. So hopefully that all goes smoothly next week. All right, so you can see it's pretty dark towards the bottom, and just kind of lightens up as you go. So that is really all that we do with the blending. Oh, that's so sad. That would drive me absolutely crazy to realize I should have done something so much sooner. I mean, I guess that's the way it always goes, but okay, so this is going to mount just like that. So that all looks fine, but I don't want to actually mount it yet. So first we're going to do some die cutting. And what I've done is cut pieces of cardstock. Let's see. And I want to make these into stickers before I try to go spreading glue all over everywhere. So I'm bringing in our adhesive sheets. And to use these, you just peel back the top layer of kind of like a wax paper. And then I am just going to set this on here. And it doesn't have to be perfect by any means, but I am just going to get both of those on there. And now I can grab some scissors and trim them out. And then, so the sticky side is against one side of our cardstock now. So I was getting ready for my class for this Saturday, and a lot of it is die cut, like pretty detailed little ornaments. And so I used these so that my guests don't have to work quite so hard to put their cards together. So hopefully everybody sees how fantastic these are. Now, the one thing I didn't think about is that I actually need these to be separate. So let me just trim this out here. There we go. And I want this one. Oh, and this card's going to be slightly different because I grabbed the wrong cardstock, but that's okay. So bring in my cute little mini cut and emboss. And line this up on here. Just right there. And we will run this through. Oh, that's tight. I knew that was not the right plate. It worked without cardstock or die, and I should have known that that would meant it wasn't going to work with everything. So this should do better. So the reason that I'm doing the sticker is because with all the skinny little strips of cardstock on this, it's just really challenging to glue. And so it's nice to peel everything apart and call it good. So you can see that's how it looks as it's coming out. And we can pop out all these little bits. The other thing that's really nice about using these adhesive sheets is that often it makes it just thick enough that it cuts out a little better. Sometimes the detailed dies you have to run through a few times before they completely cut. So, get that. And just finish popping all this out. Okay, so there is our first wave. And now we'll bring this one in. And again, I'm just going to line it up like that. Set it in here and run it through. So this isn't as hard as it looks, but I'm trying not to shake the camera too much because that's never fun. All right, so have to be really careful pulling these out just because they can stick and tear because they are so delicate. But theoretically, we'll get this done. Sorry, I didn't realize my hands were off camera. Okay, so that's mostly there. I'm going to set this aside for a second, but we will be bringing it back in shortly. So we are just going to take another piece of Orchid Oasis. Although actually, I think since I changed the color scheme slightly, I'm going to bring in a piece of Tahitian Tide. And my Starry Sky ink again. And I just grabbed a cute little sentiment from Threw It Together. So it's teeny tiny because it just doesn't need to be much more than that. And of course I caught an edge. So let's just do it again. Perfect. And now, well, I'm going to show you how I made this cute little label. But first, let's get our card liner stamped. And I actually hadn't gotten this done for the first card, so we're going to do both. But again, Starry Sky, and ink it up. And I'm just using my Stamparatus because this is a really big stamp. And I find that these big stamps, I just have a lot less control if they're on a block. So this way I make sure that I don't drop it where I don't mean to. And if I don't like if I missed a huge chunk, then I can re-ink and do it again. So I think that turned out really nice, except that we're going to trim that bottom strip. So we will scoot this up just a hair so that that doesn't happen again. And bring this back in and re-ink it. Get that wave on here. I really think that it adds so much to your cards if you carry the design through to the inside and even to the envelope if you're that ambitious, but I don't store my cards with envelopes, so I rarely do that. Okay, so this is going to go just right in like that. Get my seal here. Maybe Emily was down here messing with stuff. So there's just no telling. The tape on the magnets makes such a difference because they're really hard to pick up otherwise. Plus, if your magnets accidentally snap together, then they're easier to pull apart and hopefully padded enough that they don't break when they snap together. Okay, so there is that one, and we are completely done with ink. So the only thing is that I do wish that I had pretty duct tape on them, which is ridiculous, but silver is kind of, you know, masculine, generic. All right, so for this cute little label, this is the die that I'm using, and it is part of the Waves dies. So it's got this nice stitching and then the cutouts on the ends, but it's huge for what I'm doing. So I am going to, theoretically, that is straight. I think so. Put this in and run it through. Okay, and then get rid of that. So you can see I left a huge length down here. So now I'm just going to reposition the die so that it is roughly symmetrical. I don't care overly, you know, it doesn't have to be perfect. But you can kind of wiggle the die until you feel it drop into those notches. And then you know that you're locked in where you want to be, so you won't be making extra cuts. And then I just left the tail end hanging off because I didn't want to accidentally cut extra there. So there is what I chopped off, and there is my cute, perfect size label. All right, so hopefully you're getting lots of tips tonight between the adhesive sheets and how to make whatever size label you want. And now all we have to do is put everything together. So we're going to start with our darker wave. And it looks like a mess here just because I didn't use the whole die, so there's nothing holding the end together. But that's going to be all right once we get this on. So now you just come to the back and peel up this kind of waxy backing, and then just gently pull it off of everything. So try to get this stuck in the right spot and not just me. All right, there we go. Feel like we needed some Jeopardy music or something there. Now this other one will do the same thing, and it's just going to go right on top. So Joe's always loved the ocean, and he's gotten big into surfing the last few years. And so he is headed on a surf trip for work, as he calls it, here in a couple weeks. So he is excited, and his brother gets to go on this one too. So even better because they work together. Okay, so you can see our beautiful wave there. Now I'm just going to trim these off. And we can adhere this to our card base now. And an ocean scene would not be complete without clouds. So this set of dies actually has clouds included. And they are really nice, but they are smaller than what I wanted because I wanted to, you know, cover up a fair amount of the sky. Not because I don't like my blending, but just that was the look I was going for. So I used our Cloud Punch and flipped one over so that they kind of, offset each other. So we're just going to go like that. And then we'll use some little dimensionals to pop up our sentiment, and that will be that. If I can find, I guess we'll just do seal. Thank you, Janie. I bought it mostly because Joe is so into the ocean. Not thinking that it was going to be a set that I really wanted to use a ton, but it's really very versatile. It's got a pelican in it sitting on a pier beam thing. I don't know what to call that, but anyway, so I just have had a lot of fun using it. All right, so that's going to go just like that. And there you have it. Let's see. I think just like that. So, hope you love that. I'll bring in the original so you can see it does look quite a bit different with the lighter Tahitian Tide cardstock for part of the wave, but I think they both work. And then my other two samples using the Aspen dies and the dots and spots. So thank you for hanging out with me this evening and watching some crafty time. I hope that you will be inspired to go and make your own versions of these and share them over on my Facebook group. And if you have any questions about the colors that I used or anything else, let me know. I'd be happy to answer. Don't forget, if you've got any stamps that you got your eye on, go grab them. And other than that, I will talk to you soon. Thanks again. Have a good night.